Hi there, this is a response to G-Man. G-Man, he's a pretty cool dude. I like him. And then what he was saying is that he felt I missed the point of what Sam was asking. Sam returned a response to me, and he was talking about that many of the urban preppers would probably die from starvation and other areas. But what he was asking was basically a control question. What would I do if 7 soldiers showed up at my door? What this is basically talking about is that state martial law was declared, G-Man, and they announced to everybody that they're going to go to door and collect your food so they can distribute it out equally to everybody in the community. Now, I agree with what you're talking about, especially with the seniors and that away, because if they take whatever food they have, you're talking about them starving. So what they're going to do in a control situation is what he's basically talking about is they would make us go to whatever designated area that it is and pick up this little whatever box of food they decide to give us. That's what is what my input is on that. The problem is in a situation, in a real SHTF situation, the marauders out there are going to be more of a threat than anything. I really believe. And like you said, the seniors will starve to death because many of them are not physically able to go down to these so-called designated places. The drawbacks, like I was saying, is if it was a smaller community, you've seen some movies and films and showing where the community would barricade everybody out and they instructed everybody to come into town and bring all their food, and that's how they're going to survive. So you got a few hundred people that lives in that whatever community, that remote community, and they tell them within that area that everybody's got to bring the food, and they barricade everything out. So, but in a situation, G-Man, you got 80,000 or 100,000 or more people living in these cities. This is what he's saying. And what would I do if 7 soldiers showed up at my door and wanted my food? There's not a lot you can do in that situation unless you're heavily armed with guns and you're willing to fight to the death for your food. Another thing is like I said, is having it in different spots. You know, you can go ahead and say, hey, go ahead, here it is. But then also, it's like I said, now you, G-Man, and me, maybe some of the others out there, like I said, the percentage of preppers is really low. We have knowledge on our side of how to survive off of what we can harvest or where we make up some secret nature gardens or whatever it is. We can survive that way because we know we have alternative choices. But most people will starve to death. And that's what Sam was talking about. He believes that many of them in these herbal situations, herbal preppers and stuff will eventually starve to death because they do not have the knowledge to live outside of the city. And that is going to be the one, is what basic thing is. Marauders are going to be out there, unfortunately. They're going to prey on the old, the weak. They're going to prey on anybody to take what they want to take. So there is a questionnaire. Do you stand and fight for your food? Are you stable enough? I mean, do you have a way to protect yourself? Where are you living at? Is your home where you can barricade it to protect yourself? It's a lot of questions. I have seen pictures of preppers' homes with nothing but huge glass panels. They're way out in the boonies. And they think being out in the boonies may protect them. But I'm going to tell you what, those big glass windows and those big glass doors are exposed to the marauders. So maybe they have bunkers that we don't know about. Maybe they have other areas they can go to we don't know about. That's something we have to think about as preppers, whether what level we're at, whether you're a newbie or whether you've been prepping for years or whether you are more towards the bushcraft thing or being a survivalist or living off the grid or more militant or whatever. or just a basic prepper with a real limited budget, that is something we have to think about. For me, being a single woman and them showing up at my door, they want my food, go ahead. But it doesn't mean I have it all in one spot. The government, I really do believe, has a list of these preppers, and they've actually tried to declare preppers as terrorists in event of a SHTF situation happens and martial law happens. They want to declare these groups that lives away from people, these prepper communities and stuff, as terrorists. So they want to be able to have the right to go in there and take their food, take their weapons, and take anything in the event of martial law. So, but what Sam was talking basically about is not just the preppers, it's everybody. They're going to take the food from everybody. And unfortunately, as I said, we're not even looking at a very high percentage of people who prep, who even has enough food to. Most of them, they go to the store and they get food every other day. Most of them does not have the knowledge to live off the land. Most of them does not even know how to filter water. I mean, it's the sad truth on it. It's the sad truth on this, that there's not that many people out there. I mean, we get put down for it, but the first time something really happens, goes bad, and SHTF does happen worldwide, or even whatever happens, they're going to be knocking on our doors, wanting us to take care of them. And this is people who has probably snubbed their nose up at us, thought we was crazy, insulted us, made fun of us, outcast us, because we choose to do things different than what they have chose. I mean, I'm still looking at other options on what I can do to take care of myself, and that's an everyday chore, but I'm also having to do it within a budget. But when it comes to my food, I don't have it all in one spot. If they want to come in here and help themselves to it, I'm not going to worry about it, because I'm going to take my backpack and I'm going to leave. I'm going to go and do my nature thing. I'm going to survive. I'm going to make do with what I've got to do with in that situation. But I have that advantage point. But the seniors don't. The handicapped people don't. So they have to reroute their thinking even more. How am I going to survive? And the same way with people who live in urban environments, who live in these apartments in these 20, 30-story buildings, has to reroute themselves and think about how they are going to survive in that situation. And first step is not put your food all in one place. If you know, many of the urban preppers have storage buildings. They have to put things in storage. Then you need to think about putting some of your stuff in a storage facility as away from other things. You need to think about doing a nature's garden, and what that basically means is that, or a secret garden as you want to put it, is taking seeds and stuff and creating you a garden in the middle of nowhere that you know where to go, that you can have marked on your map of a food source that you can go and get, and you go from time to time and you tend it and you check on it and you make sure it's doing fine. And you may never need it, but you know it's there if you ever need it. So that's something to think about. Sam made a lot of good points on things. He's talking about, how some of them is not going to survive because of the way they think, and because of the food situation, the way we are, we've become very spoiled. The society has changed. It's not like it was in the 60s on back when practically everybody can and put their food up for the winter months. It wasn't just sit around the table and cook meals like they did. It's not like that anymore. It's more like, let's run down to McDonald's and get some burgers and stuff, or KFC or something like that. Let's go get some takeout Chinese and bring it home. Eating out was a luxury as a child when I was growing up. We would go out on a Friday night sometimes, and I did the same way with my kids. It was a luxury. We couldn't afford to eat out. We mainly had home cooked meals. So the home cooked meals is not as common as it used to be, unfortunately. I mean, it still happens, but it doesn't mean at all everybody sits down at one time. People usually get a plate, go sit and watch TV, or they go take their plate and they play the video games or whatever. And then there is refrigerators. It's just filled with nothing but to-go stuff. There is refrigerators that's filled with nothing but frozen foods. There is, the cabinets are empty because there might be a few boxes of macaroni and cheese up there, but I guarantee you what's up there is mostly microwavable macaroni and cheese, or microwavable this, or microwavable that. It's not a whole lot of, and they might have some canned beans up there, some other canned stuff up there, and they might have that. And they probably have some soups they can just pop in a pan and heat up or whatever. But most people don't even think about outside the box. They keep thinking in the box. Sam made some good points about some things he said. And like he said, a lot of us would end up starving to death because we do not have the knowledge. Like you said too, the seniors would starve to death if the government comes in and made it martial law for these small communities, isolated mountain communities and desert communities, even these places on the islands and things like that, where there might be 3,000 people total, and then they decide to order everybody to bring the food in and ration the food out so everybody can eat, as they say, there is going to be problems. Because what's going to happen is like you said, they're going to go to the senior citizens home who's got that little box of food that's got to sustain them. And you've got Joe Blow down here and Jane Blowhart, who are greedy son of a guns. And they decide that their box of food ain't enough, even though they got the same amount of food as the seniors did. And they feel like they deserve more food for whatever reason, so they're going to go over there and attack those seniors and take their food. So, and the handicap or whoever they think they can prey on. And this is what's going to happen, unfortunately. There is going to be those that's going to attack other people to take their food because they're just sorry SOBs, bottom line. It doesn't always mean they got children they got to feed. Bottom line, they just care about themselves. They wouldn't want you to do it to them. So, I hope I answered some of the questions here. I'm not certain that I did. I think the marauders will be out there to take the food. I think the senior citizens will become victims. I think the handicapped people will become victims. I think the pacifist, as you put them, who does not believe in any kind of guns or weapons or anything like that, I believe they will be targeted as victims because they know they will be easy prey. The question is, are you going to put your food all in one spot? The question is, do you have knowledge to live off the land? The question is, are you willing to open your doors and bring in that senior citizen person that lives next door to you or down the road, and you know that their food was stolen, they're going to starve to death? Are you willing to open your doors and bring in that family to share your food with you that the marauders took for themselves? Are you willing to do that? That's a big question. Are you willing to do that Are you going to have to take care of yourself? It's a question. You only got that box of food, but it depends on your knowledge. And then there you go too. Are you willing to show these other people where your food is hidden at? Because one slip up, and then your reserved food is gone. They come and take my food. Okay, I want to have food hidden somewhere else. I want to have other knowledge on how to harvest my food and stuff, so I'm not going to starve to death. But I'm going to go up there and get in line with the rest of them and pretend I have nothing in my house. Because I'm not going to let them know that I have food and that I have the knowledge. People get tickled with me because they see me eating grass all the time, and I'm showing them something other. Just like the other day, I showed them about, red clovers, and I sit there and popped a flower in my mouth and ate it. And they got tickled at me. But they didn't think I was crazy. They just found it interesting that I know about the plants. And these people will show up on my door and say, Joan, we know you know how to survive off of this land here. Teach us. And I don't have a problem teaching you. I don't have a problem sharing my knowledge with you. Because you know what? It means the difference between starving to death or not. You might not like what you're eating, but it's better than nothing. So I hope I kind of answered some of this, G-Man. I hope that I understand. I agree with you on it. A lot of people are going to end up dead because they're going to refuse to give their food to them. And the military with martial law is going to be declared, give them the right to arrest people and shoot these people if they resist giving them food. And I also agree with you. The fact is that many senior citizens are going to starve to death. I believe the marauders will be out there to take the food from other people. The strong will take from the weak, from the seniors, the handicaps, the people who are pacifists who do not believe in any kind of weapons or anything like that. I believe they will, of course, take from these people, and chances are they will kill many of them. Then our question is too is, are we willing to open our doors up and bring these people in that was robbed, that we've known for years? Are we willing to bring them into our house and share our food? Are we willing to show them our secret stash and risk people knowing about it? Are we willing to show these people how to live off the land, to keep them starving to death? Are we willing to do that? So it's a big question, but you got a good point on that, G-Man. Can't go wrong with the point. I agree with you on it. I just answered him in what he considered a controlled environment of martial law, and what I would do is 7 soldiers showing up. So it's a pro and a con on everything. So this is Live Prepper here. I hope I answered some of G-Man's response. I hope I answered some of y'all's response. Send me some more. I'll be glad to try to answer the best way I can. I'm not no expert. I'm learning every day. So I want you to be safe, be happy. Bless you all.